Boop. Aloha, everyone. Welcome to more. And me and the other mamas have decided that there's going to be no dancing today. Becca's not here, so there will be none on the dancing. No dancing.
Maybe I'll hold my down.
So that's the dancing you guys get today.
Wait. There. What? I'm trying to point at you, but my finger's not moving the right way. Now it is.
I've become the master at this. I'm actually pointing in the opposite direction.
Yeah, me too.
It's like
Halloween nails.
Ooh.
They're cats.
I love it.
Yeah. That's really cute. Spotlight
my nails have nothing.
My nails have nothing either.
So it looks like I'm on the firing squad or whatnot. So I'm gonna you ladies handle. I'm gonna pretend to be like a podcast guest. So what am I doing here, ladies?
Well, I'll kick it off then. I'm excited, as always, to meet with you girls. It's my favorite part of the week. Like, I always get so excited to see my friends. I was texting both of you and talking to both of you all week, which is fun. I'm excited, Pili. We're collaborating on a syndication, multifamily.
I just realized, I don't know if I told Melissa anything about the syndication. So we have to get on that.
Okay, next time. Melissa's got to be on it. How many units are we buying?
94 units.
94 units. Very exciting stuff.
Super in Tennessee and Murfreesboro. So super excited about that. We are working on that. We are almost fully subscribed, but regardless, it's going to be taken care of by the partners. Anything else that's left over, we're going to take care of it because we want to invest as well, but we haven't put our money in yet because it's such an amazing deal that we want other people to have opportunity to get into this deal.
Yeah, and our financing terms for a bunch of it. It's awesome.
It is fantastic. And just for anybody that wants to know a little bit about syndication and multifamily, this is a 506C, meaning that I can tell anyone about it. I can blast it. I can write a billboard if I want, but you have to be accredited. So if this is something that you might be interested, if you want to get into syndication, just drop a note below or DM me and I'll let you know all about it.
It's awesome. Very excited. So I feel like we should kind of start with that because I feel like that's your little secret power. So I kind of want to talk about today how your marriage has kind of evolved in this arena with you guys working together in the multifamily space. I feel like you guys share roles and have really good boundaries. You guys are always working out. Everyone looks good all the time. Your kids always have cute outfits on, and I'm jealous. So let's talk about how to do it.
How to get the cute outfits? I just let my kids dress me every morning. My daughter actually did this braid for me.
That's really
honestly, this morning I put her hair in a braid. She was like, "Mommy, can you put my hair in a braid too, or your hair in a braid too?" I'm like, Yes, I'll do an Elsa braid. So much there. So large multifamily. We got into large multifamily we took down our first multifamily in the beginning of 2017, but we were studying all up into the year before that. We got a really good mentor, Joe Fairless, as soon as we decided to get into it. And I'm going to give me one moment. This is how moms do it. My little puppy dog is going to go out the door. So people discuss. Discuss. Hey, you. Hey, Jill.
Do you have any This is our first. This is the first time we did it.
Anyway,
multifamily investment?
I've not. No, I've only my thing is single family.
Yeah,
that's all I've ever done.
Yeah,
the thing is
to this point.
Jumping from, that's what we did. That's what Jason and I did. We jumped from, and I'm screwing up the entire genesis of how we got to large multifamily, but we jumped from, that's how we met. We met all in the 7-figure group. We were flipping and wholesaling. And at one point I went to a real estate meeting and somebody approached me about doing a turnkey. And I was like, I don't really want to do turnkey. He was like, no, you should look at the numbers. Here's all the information. Let's hop on a call and let's talk about this. I was like, okay, whatever. So I actually looked at the numbers and I deep dive into some of these numbers and I was like, wow, this really works. Maybe I'll be doing, I don't know, rentals out of state. That just seemed really iffy to me at the point because we'd only been doing stuff in New Jersey. So we get into I dived deeper into the numbers with Jason. I was like, Jason, this actually kind of works. Let's look into it. So, and I'm usually not the one that brings in the whole big wow ideas to our marriage and our partnership, but I brought these deals to the partnership, and we both looked at it and we were like, okay, because the guy dealt with predominantly single family homes, turnkey single family homes in Indianapolis. We were like, well, do you have any multifamily? Do you have like duplexes or triplexes or fourplexes? So he came to us with these two duplex or a duplex, and we decided to go in with him. But we told him we don't really want to turnkey it. We will buy it outright because the purchase price was so low. We will fund the construction. You guys take whatever fees you want as long as the numbers still work out. And then you guys manage the property and you take the fees that you want as long as it works out for us. So we ended up doing this twice with this group. And the numbers worked out, but it was, even though we had them as property management, it was our first experience in managing the manager. And they were a decent property management group, but it was still difficult because if one or two of the properties were vacant, I mean, you know this, that's 50% of our properties that are vacant. So the year goes on, we're almost coming up to like half a year, quarter of the year with these properties. And Jason comes to me one day, he's like, Pili, what if we could do this with 4 properties or 2 duplexes? Could we do it with 25, 50, 100, 500? I'm just like, my head explodes. And I'm like, well, wait, what are the numbers on that? He's like, probably in the millions. I'm just like, oh, okay. So the thing is I had like a very, I don't know, my mindset wasn't really open to it. But as we progressed with our mentor, and especially after we took our first one down, which was a 94 unit in Kentucky, which we've actually exited since. My dog wants to come back in. I figured out that it can be done, and it's actually the best asset class for us. We actually excel in this, whereas with like flipping and wholesaling, we're kind of like doing good, but we weren't doing great.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what do your roles look like with in these situations with these big deals that you guys are doing?
Oh, so with large multifamily, I predominantly take care of investor relations. That's where I love to sit. That's where like I love to be. I like to talk to people. I like to give them, I just talked to, in fact, I talked to an investor today. I like to give verbal hugs. I'm like the person that if you want a big old verbal hug, you talk to me. If you want like a good person to go and call people and they don't feel like they're being sold, you come to me. I never considered myself a salesperson, but I guess I'm good at it because I don't do sales in that way.
Yeah.
So that's predominantly my job. We can do the whole kit and caboodle. I know how to do everything when it comes to syndication, but that's my place in the bus. I help with everything else. Does that make sense? Like I'll go in and I'll underwrite the property after we've kind of looked at the, I guess, back of the napkin numbers and we're diving deep into it. I'll look at the underwriting. I'll make sure that, I know what's happening with the property. Being in, it's always good to do what you love, right?
For sure.
And what is Jason? What's his role?
Everything else.
Everything else.
His favorite part of the bus is the asset management portion of it. So once, for instance, the deal that we're doing now, right now, that deal was brought to us by a really good friend, Chad King. He is excellent at sales. He's excellent at acquisition. So he acquired the property on really good terms, seller financing, brought us in because he knows that Jason and I are really good at asset management and investor relations. We are also partnered up with Bill Allen, and he's really good at raising funds and bringing in investors. So I've been kind of like helping him out and then helping Jason out. And together we're putting together this amazing team of of amazing investors for this deal.
That's awesome.
Exciting.
So, but I think real estate stuff is exciting.
I'm gonna say this, folks, for the amazing 20 or 30 something people that are watching right now, we're all tired mamas right now. So please give us grace if we all kind of drop out. You heard that like moment of silence where we're all like, I don't know what else to say. My brain has gone blank. So this is what's going to happen when you're a mama and you're investing and you're working. Sometimes your brain's just going to turn off, and you should just give yourself grace and let it turn off. So I think we just all gave ourselves grace right there, just to kind of stare into each other's eyes and be like, I kind of love you.
I know. I was up all night with my daughter who had croup. All night. So I am a little bit tired today, but
you know what? Let's sidetrack for a moment. We'll come back to me. We didn't, because Becca's not here. You know what we didn't do? We didn't check in with each other.
Didn't check in.
So since your daughter had croup, how was this week? Not only because of your daughter having croup last night, which let's dive into a little bit with that. How was your week?
My week was actually really good. Just so happens I didn't sleep last night. But yeah, no, I had a really great week. We have big news that's dropping on Tuesday. So I'm very excited about that. I've been working on something and it's coming out on Tuesday and I'm not going to tell you.
Oh,
it's coming on Tuesday. So that this has been just an awesome week. I've had like just really great days and I'm just so excited with where everything's going right now. And I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Like when you like are in your core genius and like you're just like, I have energy. So I'm really happy. I think things are just going really well. And I have a little like personal note to add to that I'm very, very excited about is I finally broke down and put out a ad for a personal assistant, not a job. It's like the things that basically it says you're doing all the things with me. And your job is just to take care of me. Like I need someone to take care of me. I need a nanny. I actually did. My job description was more professional than that, but essentially that's what it says.
Yeah, you should really just say that. Can you just be my nanny, please?
Can you just come like bring me snacks and like make sure that I pee?
I had to make sure I ate just a moment.
Yes, I know. I'm like someone needs to like make sure I'm eating and things. Anyway. I'm so excited for that because it's been a point of fear for me. Like, can I afford to pay for somebody to just take care of me and like doesn't have a specific job role? Like, I feel like I'm good at hiring in the companies, but it seems I know it sounds silly, but like it's so hard to prioritize myself. So I feel like I have to keep like, it's okay. I need help. It's okay to need help and. It's justified. Like I don't need to have 7 other companies before it's justified. It's justified now. So let's do it. Right. So that was a big hurdle for me to get over. And I'm very, very excited about it. So
that's awesome.
How about you, Melissa?
Were you talking, Pili?
Oh,
I was on mute because my dog was scratching, but we just had a lot of people say hello. We had Pretty say hello and Vina say hello.
If you guys are watching, what would be this? Just help me build my job description. What would you do? What would you want a personal assistant to do? Give me more ideas. All the things.
You can't just write all the things.
Yeah, more. It has to be like more specific, right? Like because obviously they have to do all the things, but what exactly are all the things?
What are the things you hate doing?
I know.
Vina says everything.
Yeah. I'm thinking crap. I'm thinking driving me around, email management, calendar management.
She says raise my kids. That's
in my mind.
Make sure my kids are alive. Yeah. I love it. Please give me more ideas because I'm gonna read them afterward and make sure that I covered all of them. So maybe like even like buy throw pillows and like make my house look cute when I'm too busy to think about what kind of pillows to buy. I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe buy me. Be like, hey, this would look good on you, and then just bring it. Anyway, sorry, Melissa, go ahead. Tell me what's going on with you.
Melissa, how are you?
I'm good. Am I like laggy or something? My internet's been really bad today. I don't know why.
No, you're good now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So no, it's been a good week actually. It's been a really good week. I only had one minor meltdown, so that was good. Just the one. And Weston, we had my son had a hockey tournament this past weekend, his very first out of town hockey tournament, and they were the champions. So that was awesome.
I always said we weren't going to dance, but I'm going to dance for Melissa's son.
Yeah, I could do a little dance for him because it was so cool. It was fun. Odessa is a strange place, but yeah, it was a good tournament. And then we came back this week and I've just been pretty focused, which is good. And I had a really good parent teacher conference yesterday with his teachers. I had one with his remote teacher, because he was homeschooled the first 9 weeks. And then I had another conference just to kind of meet his new teacher. And it was so awesome. Like, there's nothing better when people have like such great things to say about your kids.
I know.
And you don't realize, just FYI for all you moms, like you're all doing a great job and you need to hear that because it's just crazy. Like when I was talking to his teacher and the things that she was telling me and I kind of told her like about home life and stuff. And she's like, well, you could totally see that in him at school, because I told her we talk a lot about personal development and, accountability and learning from failure and getting out of your comfort zone, like really pretty good conversations, but you never know what your kids are hearing.
Right.
Is my point. And so, the more that you're sharing these things with your kids and talking about them, having these conversations with them about being a leader. And that was like the thing that kept coming back that she kept saying, she's like, he's just such a leader and, he's a good kid. And, she was talking to him about something and he's 8, and he was talking about being a leader by example, and he's like, well, I'm, my mom and dad always tell me, that I'm a leader and, and I'm going to lead the kids in the class by example and all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh, my heart, it just made me so happy. And he's just doing so well. So that was just really, really good. And then, had some really good meetings with some of my clients this week. And yeah, it's been a good week. Spent a lot of time with my kids. My older daughter has been coming by this week several times. So that's been fun. We've been hanging out. And, yeah.
I wish I could just pop over and like just sit in the hot tub with you.
Oh my God, it'd be so fun.
Like, especially today when I'm like a little bit tired, like let's just sit out there, let's have like a mimosa and sit in the hot tub.
That sounds so good.
We'll just like show up. I'm gonna have my personal assistant book some travel.
There you go.
Find a great deal where I'm coming to see Melissa.
Yes.
That's where our next mastermind's going to be at, or our first. We're just going to come to your house, Melissa, and sit in the hot tub.
Show up. Yeah. This tub, we're coming in.
All right, I'll be ready.
Rest my bones in your hot tub.
I swear, there's nothing better, especially at the end of a rough day, just to have a glass of wine and sit in there. And I turn the speaker on outside, put some music on, and it's just great.
So I put this out to the world. So give Stephanie a job description for the mommy nanny.
Yeah.
She didn't sign up correctly. So a good friend, Dina, she is actually a excellent syndicator. She is an amazing mama. She has twin girls that just turned 1.
Oh my gosh.
She does social media management.
Yep.
Grocery shop order.
Yep.
This is from Petiti, handle your back office.
Love it.
And I love this one, manage my Amazon.
Oh, that's a good one. That is I didn't even think about that one.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Dina's your new best friend. Look her up. I'm gonna make the introduction.
Be like net positive, right? Because I'm just gonna send the stuff back. That didn't work out instead of just putting it somewhere random. See, I knew you guys would pull through.
Yes, there's.
How about you, Pili? How are you doing?
So my week has been it's been pretty good. I have had some family stuff happen that kind of took me for a ride yesterday, but that's unfortunately not for social media consumption yet. So that's kind of why I'm sort of low energy, because it's more, I really want to be in Hawaii right now with my family. But because of COVID, it's kind of like do I go? Because they actually opened Hawaii up. But the thing is, I can take a test. I can get on the airplane. I can go there, but who knows? I might catch something on the airplane or in the airport, and I hate to bring something to Hawaii, which is an island with, you don't want to bring disease to Hawaii. It's harder to take care of there. And I want to be responsible, and I want to be a good caretaker for my family as much as I want to see them. It's like, I have to weigh out, like, is my need to see them more important than what if I get anybody sick? Because
such a hard call. It's so hard. Because of course it's important that you see them. That is important.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a tough call.
So
are they still doing the 14-day quarantine when you get there? You've got a quarantine for
as long as you do the test like 10 days before you go, and you've proven that you don't have COVID, you can go there and you'll be fine. But there's a lot of controversy with people that actually live in Hawaii, whether or not that is viable, because travelers, even if you do it 10 days before you get the test, what about that time period in those 10 days?
Right.
What about getting to the airport, getting on the airplane? It's like,
exactly. You can never guarantee that. You have no idea.
It'd be one thing if my family just lived in like California or someplace, or somewhere that was in the continental United States. But if I have to hop over the ocean, go to Hawaii, where it's not like they have limited resources, but it's still an island state. So I'm trying to figure that out. So my week is actually really awesome, except I really want to see my family.
Yeah.
So for the first time yesterday, I actually, because anybody that's following me, I'm like, you know what, this to COVID, this to 2020, this is going to be the best year ever. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to be positive. But I think for the first time in this whole year, I was like, yeah, 2020, yeah.
That's pretty good. It's almost November. You realize that, right?
Yes, I've actually been really good this year.
It's almost Halloween. Like, that's pretty darn good. You're allowed.
So yeah,
crazy year. You're totally allowed to be.
I'm allowed a moment, right?
Plus, your like low energy is like most people's high energy. So, it's like you can hide it well. That's all.
Just tap into it. Tap into the energy. I've gotten a lot of really good suggestions though from a lot of people that are following me and who are doing 75 hard with me.
Yeah.
One of my good friends, or now good friends, Heidi Lavender, she was like, just go outside, Pili. Doesn't matter if it's raining, just sit down on the ground and just like touch the ground, be one with the earth and like rejuvenate. And I was like, that sounds so awesome, because what I used to do in Hawaii is I used to go to the ocean, and just jump in the ocean and just be with the ocean and like let the ocean like cleanse me. Whereas you can do the same thing just with the earth. Just sit down on the earth, especially since it's raining out there. I can be like the crazy mommy in the neighborhood who sits in the rain. I'm never gonna be like, oh, that's just Pili. She's just
your neighbor's like, yeah, it's nothing. No, but there is something to be said about that. Like, look, it's just there's nothing more simple than nature. And sometimes when you get really overwhelmed, you just need to be like outside in nature and just like not around technology or beeping things and busy lives and cars and whatever. Like, it's just nice to keep it simple. I get it.
Keep it simple. Make sure your phone I usually just like pretend to lose my phone and my watch, so I can't find my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I just disappear for an hour, which is great, because I just tell Jason, I'm like, I'm gonna disappear. Mommy needs some time. I need some time. I just walk away.
Yeah. Do you have those like code phrases like I'm going? I'm going to lay down. Whatever it is. You guys have that?
Jason usually sees it in my face before I need to say anything. He'll just kind of look at me like, Pili, why don't you just go take a moment or two, or go work out, or I think the work out is our code word for go fall asleep if you need to. Just go do. You go be you without the kids or anything else that you have to take care of. It's a great partnership.
Yeah.
Mine is taking out the trash.
I like that.
Mommy's gotta go. I gotta go take out the trash.
I usually say I have to go to the bathroom, and then I just go in there and just sit on the floor.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me. My kids are like, Mom.
Oh, I know. They still come in, but I'm like,
under the door.
The fingers under the door.
Yeah, the little.
Mom, the dog even tries to come in. I'm like, come on, can I please? But
You know what I started doing? I go in my bedroom because my bathroom's in my bedroom. So I go in my bedroom, I lock my bedroom door, and then I go in my bathroom and I lock my bathroom door, and then I feel like safe.
There's no layers. Yeah. That's really funny.
So I got the littlest guy crying outside the door. I know all you mamas and papas and everyone that's listening to this can hear this. So I'm gonna go make sure he's okay.
Got it. You go, mama. I really want to talk about the whole marriage thing though, because they are in their space. They're in each other's space all the time. So I'm kind of interested to hear how they manage the space and the kids in between. I was talking to her earlier. She gets up at 4:30, and the kids wake up at 4:30 too.
Oh,
What is work?
I couldn't.
So, Pili, you told me before that you wake up at 4:30 to do your first workout, and then the kids also wake up when you wake up, right?
See, they're starting to get that they shouldn't be waking up with mommy because then they're tired over the course of the day, and this usually happens. So they've gotten to the point where now they're back to waking up at 6, which is normal for them.
Yeah.
Like the other day I woke up and this was yesterday. Yesterday I woke up and I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to get up at 4:30. Like I woke up at 4:30, got out of bed, and I was just like, no, I'm going to decide. I'm deciding to get 2 more hours of sleep. So I went back into bed, and my daughter had already snuggled in with it. And I snuggled up next to my daughter, and I was like, Jason, you go do your thing. I'm just going to go back to sleep. I'm just going to have some more sleep. So the thing is with like exercise and all this stuff, you just do you. I woke up that morning. I was just like, I don't want to wake up right now.
Yeah.
So I went back to bed. Got up at 6:30, got my day started, but now I had to exercise with the quick kids, which was actually a lot of fun because we ended up doing yoga together, and it was a lot of fun, and got that done. And then later on in the day, Jason and I had a workout together, which was awesome too. So we made it happen no matter what.
Yeah. I kind of want to dig into that. That was supposed to be the theme today, is to talk about, the marriage and like how it makes it work. So kind of take us inside your house. Tell us a little bit about how it's set up.
So okay, let's first I have to tell you about how Jason and I met, because that kind of sets the stage for how we work together, because we met working. So I was managing a bar and restaurant over in Chelsea, in New York City, and somehow I was 23 years old, and I walked in on a Halloween. They needed extra help, and my friend happened to be working there, so he was like, "Come on over, let's work." It was like the most money I'd ever made. It was like $700. 23 years old, and I was just like, "Yay, money!" So this was like Chelsea in New York when it was like really like not cleaned up as it is today. It was on the piers. It was like behind these stables. And you had to it was like one of those places that if you knew, you were cool. But there was a lot of people that knew about it because we used to host like parties with thousands of people. And it was fun. But I became one of their winter bartenders because no one in their right mind wanted to work there during the winter, because it was on a boat on the water in New York. And it was crazy. But I was like, I'm not doing anything else, and I'll just do it. So I worked there for that season. And come next season, my boss was like, okay, now you're going to manage for me. And I was like 23 years old. I didn't know anything about managing. And I want you to rehire everyone. So between me and these 2 other managers, we rehire everyone. One of the people that we hired brings in this guy to help us do construction. His name is Jason Yarusi. And they had met someplace in Europe, crazy story. He was modeling at the time, brings his buddy in who's been doing construction work forever. So Jason comes and our buddy introduces Jason to me and he's like, well, Jason also bartends. I'm like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah, everyone can bartend, whatever. One day I need another bartender and, I'm like, Jason's cute. And he'll at least like please the ladies. So I bring him in. He can bartend circles around me. And I'm just like, okay, you're hired, done. So we're really good friends. We're dating other people at the time. We work well together. And I leave for California for a few years. I come back, Jason's the manager. So now the roles have switched because now he's managing me. And then the roles switch again. I end up managing him again. And then the roles switch again. And we end up managing together. And our like work history was so kind of crazy because our boss loved pitting us up against each other because our mindsets are different. So we've already had the arguments and the discussions, and we already went through the stuff to kind of give us the foundation of friendship and partnership. Because even in those times when we butt heads, we still worked in like a 10 by 10 space. So we still had to be cordial. We still had to be friendly. We still had to work together because we were like the core of this restaurant that we worked at. So 2012, 2013, we both find ourselves without a significant other, but I decided I'm going to move back to Hawaii because I'm done with New York. I'm done with everything. I just want to go back home. I want to just like cuddle up in my old bed and like figure out life there. Jason and I start talking over the phone. He was like, why don't you meet me in San Francisco? Let's just have some fun in San Francisco. And we've been together ever since. So my dad always talks about like how Jason's a smart guy because he like got Pili, because I was like crocheting a lot of blankets at the time. I'm like going like seriously TMI right now. I was like crocheting blankets. He basically like to Jason, thank you for stopping my daughter crocheting all these blankets. We live in Hawaii. We don't need that many blankets. So Jason pulls me out of this shell that I'm in. I move back to New York, and a year later we decide to have our first child. So our first child was born in 2014. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not going to do restaurant work anymore. What should we do? Jason's family is in construction. So for them, the next level was to get into real estate and to get into flipping. So that's kind of how we got into flipping. I got my license, and that's how we started the journey into real estate. And you've kind of heard the genesis from there. We got into flipping and wholesaling. We were doing mega flips. Like these flips were taking years because we were actually taking homes, raising them again, and then adding a new level and a garage because these were in flood zones. And you all know, because it's scalable, but it's not as easy as doing like quick flips, like lipstick on a pig flips, or like going in just carpet and cabinets and making it pretty. This is full on construction. It just took forever. So once we heard about multifamily, large multifamily, that's how we jumped into there. So you asked about what does the home look like? It's very messy right now.
Well, you're moving, so it doesn't count.
Yes. Well, no, it's usually kind of messy because we have the 3 kids. And note to mamas and papas out there, I do have a housekeeper that comes once a week and basically tidies up and cleans and disinfects everything. I have a nanny that comes in the mornings and helps out with just basically anything I need with the kids. If I need her to take them, she takes them both. I get to do some work. Sometimes I jump in, and like it's easier to mommy and work with having help around and having. Plus, she's a amazing soccer coach, so my kids have become soccer aces because I hired this amazing woman. So get help. For all you moms out there that are listening to this, get yourself some help. I don't know if you guys felt this, but I remember when I was first told I should get some help, I was just like, oh, mom guilt. I'm supposed to clean the house though. I mean, of course, Jason would clean the house too and help out, but I was like, well, Jason and I are supposed to do that. Jason and I are supposed to raise our kids. Jason and I are supposed to do that. Jason and I are a partnership, and we're supposed to do this all by ourselves.
Yeah.
No.
It's so true, though. You know,
sometimes you need help. And if we delegate things in our business, why aren't we delegating things at home?
Bingo. Why aren't we delegating things at home? Because your home is another business. Even my grandmother used to say, I am the CEO of my home. Yeah. So why not get help for the home? So if there's anyone out there and you need help, just think about, this is how it was put to me when I first hired my first housekeeper. Just think about what your time is worth. Mm-hmm. Think about how much you are worth per hour. Chances are you are not being paid enough to clean your own house. Chances are you can hire someone to take care of that for you at a cheaper rate than basically hiring yourself to take care of your house. And it allows you freedom to play with your children. It allows you the freedom to work on your business so you can play with your children and your husband. It allows you the freedom to do those things that you should be getting paid for, like syndicating large apartment buildings, like talking with investors, like talking with brokers, like just doing those things that you should be doing, not, and this is a good comment from Pili. I love that. I wish I knew that 30 years ago. Exactly.
What's funny is sometimes you think you can't afford it. And then once you do it, you're like, okay, this is so easy, because it does free you up to do those things that will generate more income, that make it possible for you to afford it.
You can't afford not to.
Exactly.
If you have these big dreams and you're going to try and do it alone, I mean, when you put together your dream, are you really, like, for instance, doing real estate, doing a syndication? Jason and I could have never done it alone. Maybe without a mentor, but it would have taken us longer. Yeah. Maybe, like, for instance, this syndication that we're working on right now, there's no way we could have done it alone. We wouldn't even be working with it if we were doing it alone, because it was brought to us, because people know that we're good people to partner with. So know that you can take those things that you hold true in business and bring them to your family.
It's so true. And it's such a vicious mind cycle, because you know, if you don't do that, then you don't play with your kids because you have to clean the house, right? And then you've got another reason why you aren't doing what you actually want to do.
Yes.
And it's just this vicious thing. Well, I don't want to clean the house because it's my responsibility, but I have to clean the house, and I can't play because I have to clean the house, and I can't work because I have to clean, or whatever it is, you know, like, it's just this vicious thing. It's so difficult to break out of.
So just leverage people. Mm-hmm. Leverage people, and don't give yourself that guilt.
Yep. And it's hard. I just shared it was hard to even come to that. Like, I have 3 companies. I can have a personal assistant. Okay. I have 3 companies, and I still work at the hospital, and I have 3 kids. Like, why do I not have a personal assistant? It's ridiculous. It's very reasonable for me to have an assistant, you know, but I've fought this for so long, because I'm like, how do I get out of my head? And is it really necessary? Yes. Don't wait this long. It's ridiculous, you know? So anyway, but it's so true. And I think we do that as moms. I think it's a very specifically mom thing to have a hard time giving up that gender role. Like, I don't know. I talked a little bit about that, like, at Flip Hacking Live and stuff. And it's just like, you have to come to terms with that. You can't possibly do everything by yourself, and it's okay. And no one should. And you would tell your kids to ask for help. Just ask the teacher. If you don't know, ask. You know what I mean? We don't give the same advice to ourselves. So we should talk about that more, and how it's okay. And like that, I love that you have a housekeeper. I do too. And there's some sort of like guilt about it. I'm like, oh, my housekeeper's here. You know, like, I'm so excited about it, but I also feel guilty that you're cleaning my house. Like, I'm sorry about my floors.
But the thing is, like, that's a person that needs a job. You have a job for them.
Oh, and she's so happy. And we're good people. You know, my house is decent. I'm not cooking meth or anything in here, you know, like, it could be worse.
Well, and those people become part of your circle too, right? Like I have a housekeeper too, and I love her. And she comes in and she doesn't do they don't do the tidy stuff. I have them do like the hard scrubbing stuff.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that I just friggin' hate, like scrubbing the showers and the bathrooms and
baseboards. Ugh.
yeah. I mean, you got a boy, I got we have boys, you know what, it's a mess. And so like cleaning those bathrooms and like just doing all the hard cleaning stuff. And then I just do like the little pickup things or whatever. But they come in and, you know, she's become really close to all of us. You know, she talks to the kids and remembers, you know, what they've been up to and asks them questions and kind of teases them, plays with them a little bit. And
yeah, they really do. They become part of your family. You know?
And
I think that's so great.
So I just remember something. Jason and I figured out, and we actually had our probably first argument in ages today.
It was today.
Yeah.
Good girl.
wow.
I found out that he likes jelly and not jam.
Are you kidding me, Pili? That's what you're gonna bring? That's your argument we're gonna have? It's freaking jelly. Melissa, help me. Help me.
I want to know how that even came to be a thing. Like, what was that conversation like?
Because we eat peanut butter all the time. So I was making myself a peanut butter honey sandwich, and Jason was like, maybe the kids will like jelly right now. I was like, I'll buy them some jam. He's like, no, we should buy them some jelly. I'm like, I don't like jelly. He's like, well, I don't like jam. I'm like, what?
Why does he like jam? Too many seeds?
I don't know. He's like, well, I actually don't know the difference. I was like, okay, well, jam has more substance to it. Jelly is just water and a flavor.
But it's good. I like jelly.
You take Jason's side.
I like
sorry.
I could care less. If you're bringing me food, thank you. I will eat it. I will say very little. Do you want to put some bananas on there? Even better.
So yeah, that's. I mean, and it's.
I can just imagine you like him saying that, and you'd be like, "What? You can't just make sweeping statements like that about freaking jam. If you never had it, you know the difference."
That's actually that's something what Jason said. He was like, "No, jelly." I was like, "No, jam." He's like, "Well, you can't just say jam is the best. There must be some bad things about jam." I'm just like, "No, there's nothing bad about jam." I'm not a big fan of marmalade, though.
I don't know. I don't know really what to make of this, but I feel like I wish we only fought about little things like that. But I guess you know what? We all think they're big things. My things that I get upset about, you probably think are ridiculous and small too. You know, like freaking floor. The clothes are right next to the hamper in my bathroom. You know, I could literally go off.
The clothes on the floor that's usually me.
I'm the clothes on the floor too. My thing is the dishes next to the sink. Why right next to the sink? It's like, why can't you just put it in the sink? Why does it have to be right next to the sink every time? It's like literally like a few inches just in the sink.
You know what? I actually took the time to break that down about the sink thing, because that's the thing in our house. I'm like, just please, everyone come, everyone gather. Let's talk about the sink. Why? Why are they here and there? Why aren't they in? And they are worried about the towering, like, you know how things like don't stack nice, like you just put crap in and like things jingle around, like glasses break. People in my household are concerned about the towers inside the sink. So I said, okay, well, this is great. I'm glad we're addressing the issue. Now let's just put them in the dishwasher. They're nice and stacked. How about we just rinse and put them right in? You don't have to worry about the stacks. You don't have to worry about breaking anything. I'm like, this is the issue. Okay, well.
But then the issue becomes, how did you load the dishwasher? Because that's the thing too, right?
You put your forks up or down in the thing?
I put them down.
I do too. And it's not the right way, apparently.
What?
You
but
put
the
them
water comes from the bottom.
That's what I'm saying. And then when you take them out, you're not touching the utensil that you put in your mouth with your hand.
Exactly.
You touch the handle. See, Zach and I have had serious debates over this. So Pili, he agrees with you. He thinks you should put them up because then it's cleaner with the thing.
Yep, I agree.
Here he comes.
I have been silent.
Oh, he's like, I'm hearing this.
Me and Zach get it. Jason puts them down though.
Jason puts them down.
You want some up, like you, Pili.
Woo, woo. I was about to say something really bad, but it's not going
to that wasn't supposed to come out that way.
Family show. So before we let everyone go on their merry way, I just want to make sure everybody knows that, you know, everything's not perfect. I know I made a joke and it's jelly and jam, and that was actually a conversation that I had with Jason. The reason why we can partner and have a loving and creative and great relationship and marriage is because we communicate. It's those times, and I know we've dove into this before, but it's those times that we don't communicate, and then we let that sometimes big miscommunications fester. That's where the disconnect happens. That's where the parts start falling away. That's where the questions come into play, because all of a sudden it's like you're holding a grudge in your head, or he's holding a grudge, and the other person's like, okay, I think everything's going well, but the other person's keeping something from me, or vice versa, or, you know, it's all stems, I think, from miscommunication. This is coming not only from my relationship with Jason, but this is coming from previous relationships, previous partnerships, previous friendships. Yeah. It all comes down to communication, right? Absolutely. If you don't communicate, if you don't tell people what's in your heart, they're not going to know.
That. You have to be open to that kind of, I know, Melissa, you and I were talking about that before. Like, everybody has to be willing to communicate. You can't just have one person communicating, another one person just not, you know, responding.
Yeah. But the thing is, and you should read Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod for couples.
Oh,
I learned a lot from this, because I have a hard time communicating when I have something that's bothering me, because I think something's wrong with me. I put the onus on me, and I don't think it's important enough. And Jason's taught me that it is important enough to, even the smallest things, tell him about it. And that book also helped me to take ownership of that. Because if you want to change something, and we all know this, and our listeners know this too, the only person you can change is you. You can't change your husband as much as you want to, can't change your friendship, can't change people out there in the world. The only person that you can really change is yourself. So the change happens within you. And if you don't or can't make that change within you first, how is that other person going to see that you're putting the work in? So if you think your marriage needs work, your friendships needs work, anything needs work, you need to work on it first. And I get what you're saying, Stephanie, about, you know, communication is a two-way street, and that comes in too with this book.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's like, well, maybe then the choice is to break it. And that, I mean, it's a hard choice. And again, we've delved into that before, but if you've worked and honestly worked as much as you could on it, then, and you have tried your best to open up those lines of communication, and you've tried everything that you can think of, then it's time to have other conversations. But it begins with you, and it begins with the communication. And I've had to personally work on that throughout mine and Jason's relationship, because I was always afraid to communicate. And that's a whole nother episode of diving into mindset.
Oh my God, it's so true though. I think that's why the tribe and honesty is so important, because sometimes I think that you feel abnormal, right? And if you don't get around people who understand or can relate, then you carry that fear of being weird and just not being able to relate to people. But as soon as you can actually open up and talk about the things that are on your mind, you know, and the things that you notice or bother you, or that you like or enjoy, I mean, like, then you're like, oh wait, I'm not by myself in my head. You know, there are people who, or my husband even understands, or my friends understand, you know?
Isn't that amazing when you actually finally open your mouth, and either your husband or your friends or your coworkers, even this goes for partnerships and coworkers, they're like, well, why didn't you say something before? That's totally understandable. Or
yeah,
Sometimes it's understandable. And then if it's not,
I was about to say, yeah.
then you can work on it. Because if they don't know what's bothering you, then how are you going to work on it?
Yeah. And I think that's how you find these deal breaker incompatibilities too. You're like, well, I actually feel strong about this. And if you don't, then I can't,
Yeah. And better to know that in the beginning with any partnership.
Yeah.
Than to figure it out later.
Yeah.
I think that's a good note to end on.
I feel like, Melissa, you should take us out. You've been quiet. I feel like I talk all the time.
No, I was just like digesting what you're saying and thinking about all that too, because it is so real, and thinking about the stuff that, because we went to that couples retreat a couple months ago, and we kind of touched on some of that stuff, and just, stressing that how important communication is. And like, I was just thinking about what you said too, Pili, about not being able to say, and I literally feel that sometimes. I don't know if y'all feel that, like in your throat sometimes, like I need to say something, but it's like stuck.
Yeah.
And so just figuring out how to get it out is interesting.
Like almost like you're like holding it in and you want to say it, but you're afraid of how the rest of whoever's going to take it.
Yeah.
The thing is, if it doesn't come out, then you'll never know.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that was a good episode. I think it was fun. I loved hearing the story of how you guys met, because I heard the story, but not quite like that. So that was interesting. Oh, good.
That was still the quick and fast version. There's a
model and the bar in Chelsea. I mean, it's like a perfect movie.
I know, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, damn.
Yep, just make that into a little Hallmark.
Hallmark, if you're listening, come knock on our door.
Go find Pili and Jason.
Yes, they're both still beautiful.
Yes, they are. They're beautiful children, and they're a beautiful home and everything else. So, well, thank you everybody for joining us for more, and we will see everybody back next week, same time. Do we know what we're going to talk about next week?
We're talking about the difference between jelly and jam, and how jam is always better.
And you got to have it in your house at all times.
At all times. No, we're going to have a fantastic guest on next week, but we're going to keep that person a secret until then.
But you will definitely want to check it out, because this person is awesome. So I'm excited about it.
Yay!
Yay. Bye, guys.